Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm going to do another book review. This time it's going to be The Glassmaker by Tracy Chevalier. The reason that I am doing this review is because this was my favourite book in 2025. It was very difficult to pick between this, Hamnet and O Caledonia as my favourite for the year. I think this one just pipped the others to the post. I really enjoyed this book. Be interesting to see if you've read it and what you think of the book as well. Just before I go into the review, in my last video I kind of went through the books that I got for Christmas. However, I forgot to mention two really big ones that I'd mentioned in my gift ideas for book lovers, but forgotten to actually show on the video that I did last time. So it's the book vases I asked for my dad to get me for Christmas. So I've got this Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and I like these because they wrap all the way around. Not all of them do, so it looks like this, and obviously just clear inside. They're by Steel Mill, so that's that one. This one, the second one, slightly bigger size. It's the Raven, Edgar Allan Poe. It's my favourite out of the two of them, although I had to get Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. You can see the side, I really like this. You could just use them as bookends, you don't have to use them as an actual vase, but I really like that there's writing on the back and everything. Obviously the side again. Mill, let's be turning the right way around. Steel Mill. Yeah, they're just a little bit different really. I can put some flowers in them, or I'll just have them as they are on the shelf. At the moment I'm just going to keep them as they are. Maybe find some nice, what's the word? Fake flowers, faux flowers, to put in them and keep them on the bookshelf potentially. But I think they look really nice. I'm just excited. I like these two colours together as well. If they're just on the bookshelf like that, they look quite nice. I forgot to show those in the last one because I was trying to find somewhere for them to go with all the Christmas decorations up. There wasn't much room, but I found somewhere after I'd taken the decorations down for them to sit for now. So that was that. So on to The Glassmaker by Tracy Chevalier. Are you slipping? I think you're slipping down. Just move you back up. I've got you balanced on a taper candle holder. So it's historical fiction set in Murano in Italy. It's about the legacy of Murano glass and how kind of threats and things like that do that throughout history, just general life and relationships and things like that, which is a really interesting concept. There's a whole thing which I'll come to around kind of time, the movement of time within the book. It took me a little bit of getting used to. Oh, there's a little grey wagtail just outside. It's gone. There's a squirrel on the bird feeder as well. This book, in 3 words, I've put relationships, loss and grief, and catastrophes. There's a lot that happens throughout the book in terms of, like I say, threats to the future of Murano glass and business side of things, the family legacy, and just everyday life on the island of Murano as well, and the differences of living on an island compared to on mainland. It's 383 pages. I think it took me about 8 days to read it. I really savoured reading it actually. I wanted to take it in as much as I could while I was reading it. Some you kind of rush through and you're reading them really quickly to get to the end. I was really wanting to enjoy it word for word where I could, because I was just really enjoying it. Like I mentioned about the kind of being unsure about the movement of time, so it mentions kind of time in Murano moves differently to the rest of the world. Without giving away any spoilers, it does move through time quite quickly. It's not just set in one period of time. So it starts off in 1486. It does move through time differently to any other book that I've ever read. I was unsure about that at first, but having finished the book, quite like that concept as well. It was very thought-provoking in terms of the way that they did that, so I will leave that for you to kind of find out about. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read it yet. I imagine for the author, not an easy way to write the book either. So yeah, I found a lot of the events that happened in the book Very emotional. I felt for the characters. The main character, Italian version of Ursula, Orsola, I found her really interesting and relatable. She's a very hard-working person, very conscientious, and she's independent. It shows the difficulties that women faced at that period of time. The fact that it's essentially based around a very creative business, so they are glass makers, bead makers. The nature of the family business is very creative, and that really resonated with me. I'm a very creative person. I really enjoy making things. I keep a scrapbook, I keep a junk journal. I like to make things. I make cards or presents. At the end of last year I started making my own wax melts. I just like to give things a go. I really enjoy making things. And it also brought up for me questions around destiny as such, but for example, so Ursula lives on Murano. She has the kind of curiosity of going to the mainland, which is terra firma in Italian, probably butchering that. It brings up that question of where is our pull in terms of where we're meant to live, where we're meant to be. Do we stay in our hometown? Do we move away? For me, I always expected that I would stay in my hometown, Scunthorpe, and I ended up moving to Manchester. Surprising how where life takes you. You can't really plan for anything. Things just kind of happen and chop and change. And I always find that quite interesting. So there's that question of, is the main character going to stay on Murano? Their fate to be, you know, to travel, to see the mainland and to move away from a family, potentially. I found that really interesting as well. Like I mentioned with that Italian word for mainland, there's a glossary at the back of Italian and Venetian glossary, and it's got all of the Italian words and the English. To begin with, it's a commitment because you're going back and forth, learning these Italian words. You have all these different types of boats. There's quite a few different ones. It's remembering which type of boat. A traghetto, which is a gondola, used as a ferry, but I used to get that confused with the smaller boats as well. You are slipping. There were quite a few that I got confused with. I had to keep a bookmark in this back part of the glossary and come back and flick between the two, which is only the case for the first couple of chapters, I would say. So it feels a bit slow going for those because you're having to flick back and forth. It feels like a long time just getting through a chapter. I would say if you find that, stick with it, it's worth it, and you do start to remember the words for things and you don't have to keep flicking back and look into them because they used that frequently. Or they're also explained afterwards, so it'll be, say, the traghetto, the gondola used as a ferry. You don't have to keep referring back. A lot of the time it will explain. I gave it, which you can probably expect if it's my favourite book of the year, 5 out of 5 for this one, and that was my little drawing of the full cover. So you can see. So I haven't read anything by Tracy Chevalier before. I know she did go with the pearl earring, which I've seen the film of, with Scarlett Johansson and Colin Firth. I want to read that just to see what it's like book-wise. Films are always slightly different. I'll definitely be looking out for any other books that she publishes. Just another one to add to my catalogue of historical fiction that I've been really enjoying. If you read it, let me know. Hope you're all enjoying the snow. If you've got snow, pop a little snow cloud emoji down below if you've had any, and to let me know that you've watched the video to the end. I'd really appreciate that. I will leave a link to those book vases below if you want to have a look, and I will see you in another one. Take care. Bye.